Adrian, thank you very much indeed. As you say, Manchester United against AC Milan, a fixture with a rich heritage, a blue-chip encounter, whatever the context, between the two former European champions in the last 16 of this competition. Between them, they have 10 European Cup and Champions League crowns, that the last of them was in 2008, an indication of a decade of shared frustration. The long-term aim to ensure that meetings of the two are back at the business end of the Champions League, as they were in the noughties, with a status demanded by both their fan bases and by their illustrious histories. But in the here and now, the fledgling signs of that improvement are materialising. Both second in their respective leagues, tangible improvement already made, their aspirations in the Europa League entirely justifiable. The Rossoneri's away form's eye-catching, only 2 defeats in the last 28 on the road. A conservative outlook likely in the absence of a fit big-name striker, with Ibrahimovic and Mandzukic both injured. And even though United's away form is also better than that here, anything other than a United victory tonight will certainly be regarded by the Milanese as success. Well, this is how the two teams line up. Henderson in goal for Manchester United, to make 4 changes from the side that won at Manchester City at the weekend. Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire and Telles the back 4. McTominay and Matic in midfield. Bruno Fernandes in behind a front 3 of Greenwood, Martial and James. And on the bench for United, Lindelof, Fred, Amad Diallo, Shaw, Williams, Twanzebe, Shaqiri, and the substitute goalkeepers are Grant and Bishop. Milan in their change kit of white shirts with black shorts have Gigio Donnarumma in goal, Calabria, Kerr, Tomori on loan from Chelsea and Dalot on loan from United. Then Metier and Kessié, Salamakers, Diaz and Krunic, and Rafael Leao plays up front, the Portuguese under-21 international striker who scored 6 this season, but he is the only fit player with first-team experience as a striker at the club in the absence of Ibrahimovic and Mandzukic. They lost Romagnoli to an injury with a thigh problem yesterday. The likes of Rebic and Benacer and Çalhanoğlu all out as well. So Manchester United against Milan as the rain begins to come down again. United in their customary red shirts, white shorts and black socks, and they will defend the Stretford end here at Old Trafford in the first half as the players, before kick-off, take the knee. And a signal from Slavko Vincic, the players back to their feet. And it will be Milan who will get us underway. The first meeting of these two European heavyweights for 11 years. United won both legs of their tie at this stage of the Champions League back in 2010. Now in the Europa League, hoping for a place in the quarterfinals. This is the first leg, the second taking place next week. Long ball launched forward straight away by the Milanese, out towards the right-hand side, headed out of Telles for a throw that will be taken by Calabria, level with the edge of the penalty area. A little bit of movement from the Milan forward line, and that means that Telles has just got to come back and wrap his left foot around a clearance on the left-hand edge of his own penalty area, and it'll be brought down very comfortably out the back by Fikayo Tomori, one-time England international. Out from him to the left-hand side for Dalot, who certainly will be eager to impress, a player that's made 35 first-team appearances for Manchester United, but being surplus to requirements this season. Just the one appearance for United in this campaign, which came in the League Cup win at Brighton, and playing against his parent club today. Ball's gone out of play. It's a goal kick which will be taken by Dean Henderson. We're still in the first minute. It's Manchester United against AC Milan. It's live on TalkSport from Old Trafford, and alongside me, the former England international striker, Dean Ashton.
Well, two heavyweights of world football, and both of these sides obviously would prefer to be in the Champions League, but this is still a huge, huge tie for both to get through. Both will want to win this competition. Difficult for Milan with the players that they're missing, and just be interesting to see how they approach the game. They actually look to press Manchester United and not let them play out from the back from Henderson's goal kick. So positive mentality from the start.
And interesting that we were speculating about the exact makeup of United's front three. It was, as you predicted, Dean, Greenwood on the right, James on the left, and it's Anthony Martial who is going through the middle. Ball clear by Calabria, just nudged down by Matic in the midfield, but picked up easily by the defensive midfielder Kessié, and laid back for Tomori, whose ball forward over the halfway line will be Easily dealt with by Eric Bailly, making his 100th Manchester United appearance today. And he guides it back for Dean Henderson. And Henderson works it outside the penalty area. And back to Bailly again. Bailly just bringing it forward. Wan-Bissaka ahead of him. Again, press from Milan with Brahim Diaz, and United can easily work their way round that. McTominay sending a beautiful crossfield ball out towards Alex Telles, who's making his 50th European appearance today, as he works it down the line, looking for the run of James. It's Calabria that puts it out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the Manchester United left. Milan's away form has been really impressive. 13 games away from home in the league this season. They've won 11 of them. And they've got a particularly impressive record against the more illustrious opposition. Against the sides that are in the top 12 of Serie A. They've won 8 out of 8 away from home and scored twice as many goals as they conceded. So you can imagine that they have the ability to keep things pretty tight. Not particularly high scoring in any of those games. And without Ibrahimovic and Mandzukic, you would expect it would be a relatively conservative aspect from them today. Salamakers, the young Belgian, works it down towards Dalot. Dalot faced up by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's done well to get the ball in, but Eric Bailly is there just to head it away. Greenwood will keep it in and maybe got a little bit lucky because his touch wasn't the best. He knocked it into Dalot, but it then ricochets off him and goes out of play for a Manchester United throw. 3.5 gone on TalkSport. It's 0-0.
Yeah, I think you make a great point about Milan's away form, unbeaten in the last 10 in all competitions. So it's not as if they're coming here in bad form or without any confidence away from home, knowing how they can set up, how they can play through and hurt the opposition and keep things tight as well. So I don't think it's just going to be as easy as, they're missing big players, so Manchester United should win the game.
Greenwood has just gone down. He was caught by Kessié on the ankle, but he's okay. He's back on his feet without the need for treatment. Play just stopped for a moment before the free kick was taken. Greenwood comes down towards this near touchline, still hobbling a little bit and just trying to shake it off. He's just on his haunches again for a moment, but play will continue with Manchester United over on the far side, their left, bringing it forward. Tez, and a high ball forward from him, which is chested down by James. Calabria making life difficult in his back straight away, but James has done well to work it back round the corner. Picked up though by Métier in the midfield, and it goes out to the right hand side for Calabria again. Now Krunic involved. Ball switch back for the veteran centre-half Simon Kjær, and it's a long ball over the top from him, and Rafael Leao is inside the penalty area. The angle's tight and he fires it in, but then the flag comes up. I think the United defenders sensed that he'd probably gone that little bit too early because there wasn't undue panic, but it was a good ball over the top from Kjær, and that's perhaps the avenue that Milan think they'll be able to exploit.
Well, yeah, I mean, originally I thought typical lazy forward play, not getting back on side before that ball can be played first time by one of the centre backs, and he didn't. He just didn't get himself back on side, Leao, and that's. I mean, Harry Maguire must clearly have seen that he was offside because he didn't really, bust a gut to get himself back into the play, and rightly so, he was way offside.
Yeah, it was a good finish though.
No, it was.
Low crisp drive inside Henderson's near post. But all academic, and it remains 0-0 on TalkSport as Wan-Bissaka tries to play the ball down the line, but Dalot is there. Back for Tomori, who clears it neatly through the midfield. Flicked on by Diaz, but not effectively, and United have turned possession over. Greenwood now inside the penalty area, looking for options. Couldn't find Wan-Bissaka. Worked it back instead into the feet of Bruno Fernandes. Now Greenwood back for Fernandes again. Stab ball forward from him towards Greenwood, but Mété stuck his foot in, and Brahim Diaz will try and bring it away. The diminutive Spaniard losing out to McTominay, and then Maguire can play it forward for United down the left to Telles and get them going from the back again.
Well, just going back to that front three, I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't mind us saying, but Ben Thornley, you just quickly picked his brains, and it was interesting him saying that he thought it would be better for Daniel James to play on the right-hand side, and I can see why he said that. With Dalot being a right-footed left-back, you'd think you'd want to go on the outside of him, and Greenwood playing on this right-hand side, always wanted to come in on his left-hand side. It does make it easier for Dalot just to come in onto his favoured right foot and make challenges, and might just be something that Ollie looks at as the game goes on. because the one thing I really like about Daniel James is he was so used to players constantly wanting to come to feet really early on in the game. He just looks to spin in behind and really questions the fullback.
Here's one of the football fashions at the moment, playing with inverted wingers, but it will be interesting to see at what stage United do decide, even if it's only for a 5 or 6 minute spell here and there, to swap them over.
I've watched Greenwood a lot recently, and he's not been very good, to be honest. He's lucky to have kept his place, if I'm being really honest. And I just think he's very easy to mark. He really plays in one position. He doesn't roam. He doesn't go off into that maybe number 10 slot. He doesn't look to run in behind. He doesn't look to spread himself really wide. Just quite easy to be marked a lot of the time, Mason Greenwood, and very predictable in how he wants to get the ball and take it and shoot.
Martial with an effort on the turn here on the edge of the penalty area, and he did well to chest it down and get it onto his left foot. And Donnarumma not in a position to take any chances, just threw a hand up and helped it on its way over the bar for the first corner, which goes Manchester United's way. 8 gone at 0-0.
Well, Mate has to do better as the holding midfield player. He doesn't spot that danger as Martial just pulls short of his 2 centre-backs, and when the ball's then clipped in, lovely chest down and side volley with his left foot. Easy save for the goalkeeper, right at him, but still lovely control and sharpness from Martial.
It might just have been clearing the bar anyway. In comes the corner, it's an away swing, and Maguire was the target. A very good header by Kerr. He was fouled in the process, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Donnarumma. And we've got a choice of listening on the TalkSport network right now. Rangers in action away to Slavia Prague is a game that we're bringing you live over on TalkSport 2. Rangers already a goal down in that. Nikolai Stanciu, the Romanian, has given Slavia Prague the lead. Slavia 1, Rangers 0. We'll keep you updated with the goals from across Europe. Ajax against Young Boys and Dinamo Kiev against Villarreal, the other games taking place at the moment. Here's Salamakers making his way forward, and a shot comes in from distance from Krunic, which is substantially wide. Dean Henderson doesn't have a save to make. Out of play for a goal kick. 0-0 the scoreline. It's interesting, both of these teams much better. If you look at the results over a league campaign, much better away from home than they are at home. I just wonder what Manchester United would be regarding as a par result tonight to take into the second leg next week.
I think not to concede an away goal, I think, is important in these big European games, because they know how good their away form is. They'll feel really confident if they don't concede tonight. They can go away and get the job done in the San Siro, if that's where it is to be played. But again, like I said, I think the way that Milan have set up, and they're looking to press quite high up, especially when there's a goal kick or Henderson's got that, I think that'll give them some encouragement, Manchester United, because they'll be happy with that to then be able to break.
Nice turn by Maite in the midfield, but Maguire has done well. Wins it back, finds that Nemanja Matic. Played in the final of this competition in 2013, losing to Chelsea when he was a Benfica player. And Brahim Diaz can pick it up, and Krunic will just work it out to the right-hand touchline where Maite's still waiting. Rafael Leao has made his way into the middle. There's no cross forthcoming, and he goes out of play for a throw that Calabria will take, almost level with the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. You're listening to United against AC Milan in the Europa League, and it's live on TalkSport with McDonald's McDelivery. Order McDelivery now and get McDonald's delivered straight to your doorstep. A shot from the edge of the area from Kessié, and he scored. A wonderful strike as he just came down inside the penalty area, chested onto his right foot, and he's hit a rifling drive past Henderson and in, and Milan have the away goal.
Well, questions will have to be asked of Matic and McTominay. That's their job. In front of the back four, making sure you close down angles, close down spaces in between the pair of you. Kessié just takes it almost on his stomach rather than his chest, just takes it on the stomach just so it sits in front of him, and then gets his body shape perfectly in line with the goal and just gets a lovely strike on it. No topspin, just fully pinged in the air at the same height past Henderson, who can't do anything. It's a wonderful strike from Kessié.
Well, what a start as far as Milan are concerned, leading by a goal to nil. Manchester United have been slow starters in several games, notably away from home in the Premier League, where they're so adept at coming back from 1-0 down. Significant, though, that the referee hasn't given the signal for the game to restart as yet, so there must be a longer VAR check going on. And the Slavko Vincic is just waiting for the signal from the VAR, which is the German official Bastian Danke. I don't know what it is that they are looking at, whether they have judged. Is it going to be discounted? I think it is. And yes, they've had a look, and the referee has signalled handball. And it stays 0-0, and that's a massive let-off as far as Manchester United are concerned.
Well, I mean, obviously, it comes from a throw-in anyway. He just gets it from a throw-in. And like I said, it comes off his stomach. Me, personally, I don't think it hits his arm. I think it comes off his stomach and spins up ready for him to volley it. They clearly feel like it's skim. And I honestly, it's a skim if it has. It's not a real touch. It's a skim, if anything, that it's come off his arm. But decision's been made. Big call.
Well, what a let-off as far as Manchester United are concerned. So 12.5 minutes in, it is still 0-0. A goal that he took so neatly, but the ball judged by the VAR to have brushed his left arm on the way through. Martial's down injured at the moment. As the play restarted, it was Simon Kjær that put him on the deck on the halfway line. But the Frenchman's okay, he's back on his feet and play continues. Matic, who will have breathed a huge sigh of relief, playing it to James, and James working it back. Maguire's got a scamper and will just be able to keep it in, stop it going out of play for a corner. Henderson's got time to take a touch before rifling it upfield. That was all just a little bit messy as far as United were concerned defensively. And then Dalot will work it back to his goalkeeper, Gigio Donnarumma, who has been consistently linked with a move to Manchester United, a player that broke into the Milan team when he was a teenager. He's still only 22 and he's played nearly 250 games for the club already. Here's Kessié, a man whose goal was disallowed moments ago. Back for Kjær, worked forward by the tall blonde-haired defender who's beaten Manchester United in the past in his days with both Fenerbahce and Sevilla as well. Now it's worked down towards Dalot on the left, who can chest it down and scoop it forward with his right foot into the path of Rade Krunic, the Bosnian international who scored at Celtic earlier this season. And he's won a free kick, which will be taken just a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline. 0-0 with 15 minutes gone here on TalkSport. Here's Dean Ashton.
Well, it certainly just makes it go flat, doesn't it, when a goal as good as that gets scrubbed off for something so tiny. I just want to check if Adrian Duran's all right and people can check on him, because there might be chairs being thrown in the studio because of another goal from VAR being scrubbed off for what can simply be, you know, brushed his arm hairs, to be honest. But I think Manchester United already will probably think these are a lot better than we probably thought. They've started really, really well, AC Milan.
Krunic is going to take this free kick, and there's plenty of air underneath it as he swings it in towards the back post, where he was attacked by the smallest man on the pitch. Salamakers then works it back in after Brahim Diaz knocked it back to him, but he's driven it across the face of goal and wide. United haven't got going yet. The first 15 minutes, all of the decent opportunities have been away to our left in front of the Stretford end that Milan are attacking, and it remains a 0-0. Possession has been pretty level, but United with that significant let-off. Rangers trailing by a goal to 0. The other two Europa League ties that have started already are also goalless, and coming up later, Matt Holland's alongside Alex Crook over on TalkSport 2 for Arsenal's game, the first leg of their tie against Olympiacos in Greece. That one kicks off at 8 and it's live on TalkSport 2, where we've also got live action for you from the Championship tomorrow as Blackburn take on Brentford. But the here and now here in Manchester, where the rain has abated, an afternoon of short, sharp showers, but dry at the moment, and a throw that Dalot is going to take. Almost a foul throw as he just worked it forward towards Rafael Leao, who's done well to turn. And it scoops it across the midfield for Calabria, chipped in from him. Bailly, with Leao making life difficult for him, but he could get it away. And then when it's headed back by Tomori, he just got the angle wrong. And it goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Manchester United right.
Just growing in confidence, AC Milan. The more they grow in confidence, the more they look to press higher up, take a few more chances. It's little things, even at the start of the game with Manchester United, that you just think, even playing out from the back, needs to be done with real crisp quality. That's what gets the energy high in the side as Bruno's fouled.
The referee has played the advantage. It's swung back quickly by Milan, and Kjær sends it forward. Bruno Fernandes got caught, there's no doubt about that. He's back up on his feet after 7 or 8 seconds down. Play will resume with Manchester United still in possession with McTominay. Wan-Bissaka finds Matic. Back from him to Bailly and across to Harry Maguire. Maguire, incidentally, a yellow card away from a suspension. He'll miss the second leg if he is booked tonight. The only Milan starter who's in that boat is the goalkeeper, Gigio Donnarumma. So his older brother potentially is in line to play in the second leg if Donnarumma Jr. is booked tonight. Free kick to Manchester United, taken quickly as McTominay sweeps it forward. Bruno Fernandes to Wan-Bissaka, and then Bruno just drops out to this near touchline, the United right, and then in receiving the ball sends a brisk one out towards the left to try and get United going with a switch of play. Telles and James combining well. Back for Alex Telles again. Bruno Fernandes coming to meet the ball. Brahim Diaz thought he'd won it cleanly, but the referee spotted an infringement earlier in the move and has given a free kick to Manchester United and has produced a yellow card as well. I think it's Salamakers who's the player that has been penalised for a foul on Alex Telles. An opportunity for Manchester United to work the ball inside the box. Salamakers the first man to have his name taken tonight.
I'm not sure it's a yellow card. I mean, he just tries to nick the ball away from Telles, and yeah, he catches him slightly on the foot, but it's not a yellow card.
So United flood the bodies forward inside the penalty area. 6 in all, and all within 9 or 10 yards of goal. 0-0, 15 and a half minutes gone. Left-footed ball in from Alex Telles. Oh, he's gone for goal. Donnarumma scampered across his line quickly, but it cleared him and cleared the bar. And goes onto the roof of the net and out of play.
Well, I don't know why Telles has got his hand over his mouth as if, ooh, that was close. It's never going to go in. If you've made your way up, Harry Maguire and Bailly, and you're all set for the free kick to come in, there's nothing more annoying than when someone either tries to shoot or overhits the cross as he did.
Well, it did look like a shot rather than...
Yeah, it did, you're right. And his reaction said it was as if he tried it and he was unlucky.
Flicked on now towards Leao, who might get in towards the edge of the penalty area, and he's offside again. And it's a free kick which will be taken by United just outside their box. Jim Bradford and Dean Ashton talking through the action from Old Trafford, where it remains 0-0. Well, Milan have already had the ball in the net twice. First one disallowed for offside, and the second one after a lengthy VAR review for a handball. Declan McCarthy, our in-stadium producer here. As I mentioned, we've got a live double bill over on TalkSport 2. Slavia Prague lead Rangers 1-0 right now, and Olympiacos against Arsenal coming up. And we've got the second leg of this tie next week for you as well on the TalkSport network, as Dalot plays it forward, but straight to Scott McTominay. Still, we've seen little from United as a cohesive attacking unit so far, but they push forward into a better position here with McTominay. Greenwood lets the ball run past him to Wan-Bissaka. Then he's played back to the blue-booted teenager for Manchester United, and Greenwood in taking on a couple of strides, feeds Maguire. Maguire making his way past Brahim Diaz, and was just hoping that James was making a run down the left-hand side, but he got the angle of the ball wrong. He split the gap between Telles and Martial in the end, and it goes out of play for a goal kick which will be taken by Donnarumma. And there's tangible room for improvement from a Manchester United perspective so far, but still hanging in there 0-0 with 20 minutes gone.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a massive let-off, the goal they conceded. That's the right thing to do, I think, for Harry Maguire to break out of that defensive line if he can, if there's room to run with it. Wasn't a lot of movement in front of him. Martial half went for the run.
Now Salamakers making his way forward, the former Anderlecht youngster, and picking it up. He's got a breathtaking turn of pace at Salamakers, and he just got there on the edge of the penalty area and pulls it back. Laid back by Kessié through the midfield. Tomori to his right hand side for Kerr, and then played forward by him out to the right touchline for Calabria, but the full-back's ball misses Rafael Leao and goes through for Dean Henderson. This, as I mentioned earlier, the first meeting for 11 years. The last time they met in the Champions League, United won both legs of their tie, beating Milan 4-0 here with 2 goals from Wayne Rooney and Park and Fletcher scoring the others. And they ended up winning 7-2 on aggregate, but that's the only time that United have knocked Milan out. They've met them in 5 European knockout ties over the years. Generally speaking, United beat Milan here and end up going out. That's how it's tended to work, with the odd exception over the past, but certainly that epic semi-final tie you'll remember from the Champions League in 2007. Well, Milan lost the first leg here and then won 3-0 at the San Siro in the second leg. Ball is with the men in white and black. I say white and black. It's a white shirt that looks as though it's had a football-sized cricket ball shined on the front of it. It's got like a sort of a little red hue. And Kerr will pick it up and play it out towards Calabria. Calabria's ball into the feet of Brahim Diaz, who made 15 appearances for Manchester City across town from here, and he's got it again now. The diminutive Spaniard running forward towards the edge of the area, setting up Dallo, low ball in from him, got the angle wrong, and it hit McTominay and bounces to safety for Manchester United, where Greenwood can clear. And Martial will chase after it, coming across the covers to Mori, and he just finds touch, puts it out of play for a Manchester United throw. We're midway through the first half, and it remains 0-0 on TalkSport.
I have to say, Manchester United looks so average so far in this game. No real energy, no intensity. Milan have got plenty of time on the ball. Really interesting the way Milan have set up out of possession, 4-4-2, allowing Diaz and Leao to just go and press and make it difficult for Manchester United to play out easily for their two centre-backs. And then as soon as they win possession, the front four can basically do what they want and turn it into a 4-2-3-1. And it's just causing Manchester United issues. A, getting out because of the 4-4-2 they're sitting in, but then difficulty picking up when they do lose possession, and Milan just spring into whatever positions they like, that front four.
I mentioned that they're so well versed at playing away from home. Only 2 defeats in the last 28 games on the road in all competitions, which came against Spezia in Serie A, and also the Coppa Italia tie against Inter Milan, which was obviously still played at the San Siro, but was an away fixture. And those are the only times they've been beaten on the road in the last 13 months. United, on the other hand, beaten 6 times here at Old Trafford this season. Here's Leao drifting out towards the left flank this time. He's got the pace and power to make life difficult for Bai, who did really well. Got his body back in the way, went shoulder to shoulder with him and turned it clear. Then Bruno Fernandes will work it forward for Martial, but couldn't find him. And Matic, his presence doing enough in the midfield to win it back for Manchester United, but then he's given it away as he looked for Greenwood, and it was a ragged pass that goes out for a throw that'll be taken on the Milan left-hand side. 25 gone, it remains 0-0. You're listening to Manchester United against AC Milan in the Europa League, and it's live on TalkSport with Music Magpie. Get cash for your phones and tech the smart way. Calabria in possession, but not for long. He's been robbed, but out with the laws of the game. Just fouled by Bruno Fernandes, according to the referee. And it's a free kick to Milan about 12 yards outside their box. 0-0 deal.
Well, it's down to the Manchester United players to change the flow of this match. Either there has to be more intensity in the way you press and try and win the ball back, which there isn't. Every Milan player's got pretty much 5 yards of space.
And they worked a long diagonal from this free kick out towards Dallo, who's faced up by Wan-Bissaka, but he can work it into Salamakers, who's in space, and Brahim Diaz, and it's a chance for Krunic. Right-footed effort from him, took a deflection, and the deflection, although it spun it wide towards Henderson's post, took the pace out of it, and that meant that he could dive down to his left-hand side and gratefully gather. But again, it's the Milanese getting themselves into the good positions.
And that's the problem. I just talked about out of possession. Suddenly, Salamakers, who's out of possession, is playing as a right winger, suddenly finds himself right in the middle of the pitch, getting involved, overloading Manchester United's right hand side, and Wan-Bissaka, who had gone inside with Krunic. As soon as they were outnumbered, they were able to play that extra pass. Krunic getting himself free as Wan-Bissaka had to come out to Salamakers. Just about did enough to take the sting off the shot.
Greenwood plays it forward, but again it's a pass that only finds a man in white and black. It was Kessié, found Meite in the midfield, and now it's quickly worked out towards Rafael Leao, who again will renew his acquaintance with Bai. Just nudged it forward down the left-hand touchline and scampered after it. Bai again has been able to win the latest instalment of the battle between the pair of them.
Fancies that race, doesn't he, Leao? It's a couple of times now he's thought, I'll just push it and run and see if I can beat Bai.
He's one of those strikers who can't solely be judged on his attacking productivity, Rafael Leao. He brings much more into it than that, as Brahim Diaz can play it forward here, and it was an excellent run from Calabria, the fullback, who is only a rare goal scorer but very nearly got himself into a shooting position. Now it'll be cleared relatively easily by Matic down the Manchester United left, and he's won a throw. Just going back to Rafael Leao, I mentioned earlier, 12 games without a goal since he netted against Torino back in January. He's only scored 1 goal in 8 European ties in his career, and only 6 all season, but he's a handful. He's raw, but he's a handful.
Well, and also with the runs that he's making, clever runs down the side of the centre-backs and trying to split the 2 centre-backs and run through the middle, what it does is it then makes them retreat slightly and open up a bit of space then for Salamakers, Diaz, Krunic just to come in and collect the ball, and sometimes that can go unnoticed as a centre forward. The runs you make knowing you're not necessarily going to get the ball, something that I hated.
And consequently never did.
No, exactly.
The ball is out for a throw that United will take over on the far side. We played 27 minutes. It's a slow burner of a performance for United so far. They had the major let-off with the Kessié goal being disallowed for a handball by the VAR. Here's Donnarumma. He's largely been a spectator, other than the one save that he's made to tip the effort over the bar. McTominay winning it back in the midfield as the wind picks up here at Old Trafford. Ball into the feet of Matic, who quickly put his hands up to show him that he didn't want the return pass. He was under pressure. So United worked it down the right-hand touchline instead, where Greenwood can win a throw.
I mean, there's certainly no time to panic. They can grow into this game, Manchester United. But if you're Ollie, I think you're just having a quiet word with the coaching staff saying, look, get a tray of peppermint teas ready, just in case I need to get them thrown.
It's Matic playing it out to Tejas. Back it comes for Nemanja Matic again. The second leg, they're expecting that they might have both Ibrahimovic and Mandzukic available, which would be a significant, with no disrespect to Rafael Leao, but a significant upgrade when you consider the amount of experience that those two have between them. Maguire's got the ball at the moment though, and he works it to his right for Eric Bailly. Then Manchester United just having better possession now, but still giving it away far too frequently. It was Scott McTominay who was the guilty party that time. Kessié with a lovely turn in the midfield, just skips away from Nemanja Matic, and it might open up for him with Salamakers making a run to his right, and Calabria is very quick to get forward from fullback as well. Salamakers is the ball that he played, and he comes back into a more central area, just trying to draw players out of position. Works it back for Kerr to Tomori, who's the deepest lying of the outfield Rossoneri, and then played forward to Meite, 10 yards outside the box. Now Brahim Diaz will take it on to his left, Krunic, and the Bosnian goes back for Dalot. United defending in a regimented manner, just chasing the ball, not necessarily engaging, keeping the Milan players honest, no real intensity in the press. Kerr plays it forward, and Leao is backed into Maguire that time to give yet another free kick away. McTominay works it forward into the midfield for Bruno Fernandes, who played half an hour on TalkSport, where it remains 0-0. Back for Bruno Fernandes again. No changes in the scorelines in the other Europa League ties. Rangers in a live game over on TalkSport 2 right now, still trailing to that early Stanchu goal of Slavia Prague. Brahim Diaz making good headway. He's made 30 yards, 40 yards, works into Salamakers right inside of the area, turns inside Matic, left-footed shot. Henderson got both hands in front of his face to be able to beat it away, but another AC Milan shot on target. Meite then loses possession. It goes out for a United throw, but when they break forward with pace, Manchester United are struggling to deal with it.
They are. Brilliant run from Ibrahim Diaz, delayed, which I thought was the right thing, just waiting for Salamakers to come up on the right hand side. Matic looks so slow getting across, dangled a little leg out. Salamakers, a bit like Foden, very honest, didn't take that leg and use it to try and win a penalty, and then tried to get his shot away, which he did near post. Henderson, great positioning, I have to say, from the goalkeeper. Didn't commit either way, watched it into his gloves.
Dinamo Kiev 0, Villarreal 1, as Manchester United break forward quickly. The flag is up. Donnarumma can make the save anyway, but the flag was up very early there against Dan James, and in the Milan free kick will be taken if they want to. They can bring it a good 10-15 yards outside the penalty area, which is where the infringement took place. I think it will be taken a little bit deeper in the end. You're listening to Europa League kickoff here on TalkSport. Up after us, Hugh Woosomcroft, Darren Lewis and Gabby Agbonlahor bring you the chance to have your say on national radio. And then after kickoff tonight, the Sports Bar with Andy and Jason. 08717 223344 is the number that will get you through to both of those. 0-0 at the moment, with 32 minutes gone at Old Trafford. Manchester United, I think it's fair to say, broadly speaking, second best. They'll be frustrated at the level of performance. And it's, I know we talked about it a couple of times in the build-up, but it's not dissimilar really to that performance at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace a fortnight ago, where United are just struggling to, or a week ago should I say, struggling to get themselves into positions where they can get Bruno Fernandes on the ball, where they can have movement forward off him. And they're playing against a side, with no disrespect to Palace, who probably got a little bit more about them as an attacking entity. But here's McTominay. And McTominay can work it forward, and James again making that run. He was onside this time, but they couldn't pick him out. Meite in the midfield, bringing forward towards halfway. Fernandes will come back and get goal side and lay it out towards the right-hand side for Calabria. Manchester United 0, AC Milan 0. And here's the former England striker, Dean Ashton.
I have to say, when Manchester United do lose possession, there's a big gap between the centre-backs, the midfield and the forwards, which just means that it's very easy for Milan to play through. I've been so impressed with Kessié and Meite in that midfield, because out of possession, it's 3 against the 2 of them. They're coping really well with not allowing Fernandes the ball into feet. And at the moment, Manchester United, they just can't get any sort of flow into this game.
Well, now they will try and do that with Tejes making his way forward down the left-hand side, and he's done well because it was a good strong run that got him 40 yards upfield. Lays it back now for Martial. Martial left-hand side of the penalty area, tries to get his way around Kerr, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Well defended. I think Kerr, such an experienced player, such a good centre-half with an illustrious CV, but the fact that Rashford isn't playing is a major boost for him, because he's not the quickest anymore. He's a player that defends so skillfully because he can see the shape in his head very early, rather than having the raw pace to be able to cope with a speed merchant up against him.
I think one of the features of Manchester United's play this season has been Fernandes being able to get on the ball, get his head up, and then look for Rashford, who makes that run inside the fullback and up then alongside the right-hand side centre-back. Been such a feature. James, on the other hand, still really learning that position on the left-hand side and what's required. The runs he's making, very straight runs, looking to just get in behind with his pace rather than clever runs, bending his run that you would see from Rashford.
Now Fernandes goes back for Matic. In turn, back to Bailly near a halfway. McTominay plays the way that he's facing, forward towards Greenwood. Wan-Bissaka back to Mason Greenwood again. Here is Bruno Fernandes, score of 23 goals this season, to Maguire. Maguire's 10 yards inside the Milan half. Eric Bailly a little bit deeper than that, played in and now worked forward towards McTominay, who's added a more potent element from the midfield over the course of 2021. Scoring goals, just getting into more advanced positions and scoring some good ones as well over the course of this campaign. Still Manchester United maintaining possession with 10 minutes to go to half-time here on TalkSport. Matic for Maguire and straight back again. McTominay shows for the ball to Matic's right. That's the pass that's played. He now works it forward to Wan-Bissaka right in front of us, trying to get to the right-hand side of the penalty area and take on his man. Lays it back for Greenwood. Greenwood to Bruno Fernandes. Was he caught? Yes, he was. Free kick. And this is a good position. It's just right of centre, and it's about 5 yards outside the penalty area. I think it was Krunic who's the guilty party. And Bruno Fernandes felt the contact, made sure the referee saw it, and this is a free kick in just about position A.
It certainly is. What was great about that bit of play from Bruno Fernandes was that he just had a little look over his shoulder. Before that ball was played to him, he just looked over his shoulder, saw Salamakers just behind him, so he knew if he took that touch and then almost Ginola-like, inside of the foot, outside of the foot, 2 quick movements away from the AC Milan midfield player, and rightly so, free kick in a great position.
And Fernandes has cleverly moved the ball back from where the infringement took place. He's given himself another 1.5 yards to be able to get the ball over the wall and back down again, if indeed he goes that way, because he's more than capable of the low one. And knowing that, Brahim Diaz is down behind the four-man wall. He's kneeling on his right knee, almost like a sprinter waiting to get off the blocks at the start of the 100 metres. So 4 in the wall, 1 behind it. It's Tellez standing over it, but Bruno Fernandes surely the favourite. It is Tellez that strikes it, actually. It hits the wall and will bounce down to Donnarumma, who just side puts it out of play and out for a throw, which will be taken on the Manchester United right.
I mean, it was the side favouring a left-footed strike. I'm still surprised Bruno Fernandes didn't take control there with his quality and confidence. But Tellez didn't get it up in time, and in fact he ends up hitting Maguire, who was actually stood in front of the wall looking to move out the way, clattered him on the shoulder.
But from the subsequent phase of play, Manchester United have won a corner, which Tellez will come across to take. Rangers have an equaliser in the game live over on TalkSport 2. Philippe Elanda making it 1-1. Slavia against Rangers. 0-0 here at Old Trafford, all square as well. In comes the corner from Tellez in towards the near post. Oh, great flick! And somehow Maguire can't turn it over the line. I'm not quite sure how he missed. It was a magnificent near-post flick, and Maguire's coming round the back. He is 1.5 yards out, and he's knocked it square along the goal line rather than over it.
Oh, it has to come off his shin. Surely. From 1 yard out, was there a tiny touch from the goalkeeper? Maybe that's just took it out of the reach of Maguire, but...
Has he hit the post?
Still,
he's hit the post.
It's come right off the shin pad, inside of the post, up and out. Incredible.
Well, what a let-off at both ends. But Harry Maguire will be wondering how he hasn't scored there. He's only scored 5 goals in nearly 100 games for Manchester United. That one, the one that's, as the old proverb goes, easier to score than miss. But he's clattered the frame of the goal from right by it.
What a juicy delivery, by the way, from Tellez. Just whipping that into the near post. Lovely little flick from Fernandes towards the back post. Not really trying to score, just looking to glance that on, hoping that someone's got away from their man at the back post, and Maguire had done. And like I said, it's really, if you asked him to just side foot that into midfield to a player, he'd do it so easily. Suddenly you're in front of goal and you can't then just normally side foot it. The panic sets in suddenly as it comes to you in a rush, and it came off his shin onto the post and away.
And then having hit the post, it could have gone anywhere. It could have hit the inside of the post and gone in. It hit the inside of the post and went square, almost along the line, about 6 inches in front of the line, and to safety. But it remains 0-0. 5 minutes to go in this first half on TalkSport, with Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton talking you through the action at Old Trafford. And it's Krunic that's in possession, making his way past McTominay towards the edge of the area. Gets a return ball from Kessié, tries to set up Leao. Loose ball squirms out towards Dalot, left-hand side of the box. Good defensive header from Tellez, because Calabria, the right back, was coming in to attack it, and Tellez did well knowing he was there and just swiveled the neck muscles and flicked it out of Calabria's path and out for a throw.
Important header, yeah, fullback to fullback. Dalot looking for Calabria at the back post. I'm sorry, Mason Greenwood, you've got to do a lot more. You've got to switch on to Dalot getting down that left-hand side. Wan-Bissaka's got to get onto him as well. It's not okay just to do the attacking work. You've got to be aware defensively. Just get yourself across. Just stop that ball being able to go out to the fullback. He wasn't even aware of that, and that's just not good enough.
What the United need to do from an attacking context, to be able to create more chances and get Bruno Fernandes into the game that bit more than he has.
He's got to move the ball a lot quicker. It's so slow, the build-up from the back, and actually the quality's been really poor. McTominay's given it away, Matic has given it away or kicked it out of play. And there isn't that urgency, is there? You look at the Manchester United players, there's no real urgency from any of them, I would have to say. Greenwood, Martial, James, none of them got into the game. None of them making dynamic runs. No one's screaming at anyone else that it's not good enough. Because there's no crowd here, we can hear them. There's no one getting on at each other, setting a tempo. And they're lucky, to be honest, to still just be level, because Milan have looked so dangerous on every single break.
It's play forward now by Dalot to find Kessié. Dalot continues his run forward. He used the full width of the pitch, he kept it in and then scooped it up into Bailly and out for a throw that Milan will take near the edge of the penalty area. Got 4 live games from the Premier League coming up this weekend. On Saturday, Leeds-Chelsea at 12:30, Everton-Burnley at 5:30, and Fulham against Manchester City kicks off at 8. They're all live and exclusive to National Radio on TalkSport this coming Saturday, followed Sunday by Southampton against Brighton, 2 of the bottom 7 in the Premier League meeting on Sunday at high noon at St Mary's. We've also got Luton-Swansea, Portsmouth-Salford and Tranmere-Sunderland, the 2 EFL Trophy finals over the course of this weekend on TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport app respectively. And don't forget, Saturday afternoon game day live with Adrian, all the goals as they go in from the Premier League and the EFL. It's all coming up for you over the course of this weekend on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Tonight we've got 2.5 minutes to go to half-time. Manchester United 0, AC Milan 0. Matic turning on the edge of his own penalty area and able to play the ball out towards Tejas, and with white shirts making runs towards Matic, he was just able to get Tejas going in a little bit of space there. He can't then find a teammate. It goes out for a throw which will be taken by United about 10 yards inside the Milan half. Couple of minutes to go to half-time. Bruno Fernandes working it back inside his own half for Eric Bailly. Bailly turning it forward for Scott McTominay. McTominay down towards Wan-Bissaka. Now Wan-Bissaka has a little bit more room this time. Dalot backing off for the moment. Meite coming back and aiding the defensive cause. Brahim Diaz, though, presented it straight back to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Matic takes over. To his left is Alex Tejas with a white sweatband around his right wrist. Played forward towards James. To the much taller Matic. Now to Harry Maguire, who missed that golden opportunity to give Manchester United the lead 4 or 5 minutes ago when he hit the post. Now down to Mason Greenwood, who just squeezed it past Brahim Diaz to find Maguire again. Maguire with the switch out towards the left, and James with an opportunity to run at Calabria. Shown inside, he's more than happy to take the invitation. Martial trying to control it. Kerr was there making life difficult for him. Martial went to ground. Nothing given. The play does stop then as it's brought out from the back by Milan. And they have a free kick about 15 yards outside their own penalty area. And we've got just a minute of the first half to go. Be a couple of minutes to be added on because of the VAR inspection of the Kessié goal, which was subsequently disallowed. But maybe 2 minutes, maybe 1 to be added on. But we're nearly at half-time. Manchester United 0, Milan 0 remains the score.
Good bit of play, actually, from Manchester United. Build-up play was a bit crisper. James just looking to dive inside off that left-hand side and played a lovely ball into Martial, who was back to goal inside the penalty area. Perfect position to be in if you get your backside in, keep hold of the ball, look for runners off you. Instead, he's tried to win a penalty. Horrible dive. Horrible to see, to be honest. Was never going to get that. That wasn't him of the weekend.
Now Fernandes playing it in, and Donnarumma came and met it some way outside his 6-yard box, diving forward. Made it at Yorker length and took it in very nicely indeed. A minute to go in terms of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Milan won their group to get this far, finished above Lille and Sparta Prague and Celtic as well, and then beat Red Star Belgrade in the round of 32. Finished 3-3 on aggregate. Milan through thanks to an own goal, 2 penalties in the away goals rule. But they're making a good fist of this. Here's Dalot taking on Eric Bailly. Wan-Bissaka can bring it away. Bruno Fernandes fires it back at him, and Wan-Bissaka probably wasn't too aware of what was on around him. Salamakis, who's done well so far this evening, coming back and picking his pocket. And Meite will play it down towards the Belgian again on the left-hand side right at the end of this half. He ends up on the deck, play goes on. Meite with the switch of play. Out towards Calabria on the right. He's got 3 in the penalty area to try and hit. He takes on the fullback round the outside. Too much on the cross, but Salamakis will pick it up back outside the penalty area again. He tries to get it onto his right foot. Wan-Bissaka deflects that cross high up in the air. Kessié can't get there. Little back heel can't pick him out. Maguire will fire it away into the stand and out of play for a throw that there is no time to take. Well, Manchester United might have looked at the Milan team and seemed that it was bereft of some illustrious big hitters, that they couldn't fill the bench, and they've only got 5 outfield substitutes that are on the bench, and they might have thought that this was not quite a free pass through to the next round, but a golden opportunity. The Rossoneri have played really well. Kessié having the ball in the net early on, judged to have been handball by the VAR. Harry Maguire missing a good opportunity at the other end, but those chances have been few and far between, and Manchester United have plenty of room for improvement. At the break, it is United 0, Milan 0. Thank you very much indeed, Hugh. Well, the two teams, as you say, coming back out. Nemanja Matic out much before any of his teammates from Manchester United. And they're just trotting down this near touchline now. United will be kicking from right to left in this second period, and no signs of any immediate changes in personnel. Although United are going to make a change, and it's Amad Diallo for Dan James ahead of this second half. Well, Diallo is a player, Dean, that's got such an immense reputation already. I think everybody knows just how enamoured his teammates are of him from what he's been able to do in training. He is a player that started his club career in Italian football playing for Atalanta. He came off the bench in both of the games against Sociedad. He scored on his Serie A debut, and he has the opportunity to make an impression against Milan here. Amad coming on for James at half-time.
What a great opportunity for him. The fleeting performances he had for Atalanta caught the eye of many. All Manchester United fans will just be desperate to see him get this opportunity. He's shown already in the under-23s his abilities. I think it's actually Martial.
My apologies.
Not come back out.
Yeah, James is now out there, and so it is Diallo for Martial. So that will just necessitate a reshuffle. You think that Greenwood will end up going through the middle now, and Diallo, I would think, would go out to the right flank. He just gets a pat on the back from James on his way on, and trots over to the far side. So Diallo, only 18, but a player that Manchester United have signed a £36 million deal, and he comes on for what is only the 8th senior appearance of his career. So Manchester United hoping for an improved second half performance. They get the game underway. Red shirts, white shorts and black socks, and they're kicking from right to left. Ball quickly back for Dean Henderson. Long ball forward from the man who's kept 9 clean sheets in his 15 Manchester United appearances so far. And then the handball by Kessié. Didn't need the VAR for that one. And it's a free kick which will be taken by United about 20-25 yards outside the Milan penalty area. Dean.
Well, it's not just the substitution that obviously Ollie's hoping will change the dynamics of this game. It's a lot to ask of such a young player. He's going to need help. He's going to need the team to be a lot brighter in this second half.
So the forward line now aged 23, 19 and 18 respectively. And here is number 18, Bruno Fernandes, with a deft little chip ball forward towards Diallo. Gives it straight back to him, then it's swung in very deep. James with a header back across the edge of the 6-yard box, easily claimed though by Donnarumma, who will bowl it out very quickly. And Kessié and Meite link up in the heart of the midfield, as they've done so effectively all night. And it's played out towards the left-hand side for Dalot. Dalot down the line. Leao gives chase. Bailly is there first. Just had to make sure that he didn't trip over the ball inside the penalty area, but he adjusted his feet quickly enough and was able to bring it out. And Matic will find Alex Telles on the left, and his ball forward into the feet of James, who plays a little 1-2 with Calabria, which probably wasn't quite his intention. I think he was trying to buy a throw, but it worked out very well for him. It came straight back, and now Greenwood plays it down towards Bruno Fernandes. Little reverse ball in from him. James had made the run, but coming across the cover was Fikayo Tomori, and the big centre-half on loan from Chelsea can get it away and find Brahim Diaz. 0-0 with a couple of minutes gone in the second half, as Krunic is just caught by Amad. And it is a free kick which will be taken by Milan just inside their own half. So United lining up, Henderson in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire and Telles, then McTominay and Matic, Bruno Fernandes as a 10, and a forward 3 now of Amad, Greenwood and James. Milan with Donnarumma in goal, Calabria, Kerr, Tomori and Dalot, Meite and Kessié, Salamakers, Diaz and Krunic, but Diaz pushing forward in support of Rafael Leao, almost into a 4-4-2. Salamakers has actually started the second run in that role in a slightly more advanced position now. He has caught the eye, no doubt about that. High ball forward from the back from Milan, headed away by Bai, out of the far touchline where Wan-Bissaka can help it further on, but Milan recycle it very quickly, and Wan-Bissaka's forced to come back and concede a foul. And a free kick to Milan, just over on the left-hand touchline, 20 outside the United penalty area. Alongside me, Jim Pravitt here at Old Trafford, Dean Ashton.
I mean, the two centre-backs, Tomori and Kerr, pretty easy night so far. Tomori's looked more than comfortable, hasn't really had to deal with much. Greenwood, I think, will much prefer as he's away.
And he has the opportunity to run at Kerr, which is something that he hasn't had the chance to do too often, and he goes around the outside of him, and they've ended up having to double up to stop him, but Greenwood's impetuosity just got the better of him, and he's ended up fouling his man, and it's a free kick right on the dead ball line that'll be taken by Milan. But that's the kind of situation that United need to try and exploit, getting Greenwood isolated against Kerr.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he much preferred to play down the middle. He'll need support, but experienced defending, and to be fair, Meite, brilliant holding midfield play, just looking to drift in behind his centre-back to give him any help if he was to be beaten, which he was by Greenwood. But they've been absolutely outstanding, the two midfield players for Milan so far.
Milan finished at 6th in Serie A last season, and as a result they had to start this European campaign in the second qualifying round of this competition, and they only just made it through to the group stage. They needed a penalty shootout win over Portuguese side Rio Ave with a big 9-8 on penalties to make it into the group stage in the first place. But as I mentioned earlier, they then won their group. They've got past Red Star Belgrade, the same round that Manchester United easily saw off Real Sociedad. And nothing between the two of them in terms of the scoreline so far tonight. Bruno Fernandes has been fouled, and it's a free kick that Manchester United again will take in a central position about 25 yards outside the box, but they don't flood the advanced areas, they just take it short. Bruno Fernandes to Matic, and then scoop forward. Oh, what a goal from Diallo! Welcome to Manchester United. It's a brilliant little flick header on a straight ball forward for Bruno Fernandes, and he ghosted in goal side, and he leapt like a salmon turning in the air. He flicked his head to it, turned it over Donnarumma, and Diallo's arrived 5 minutes in to the second half. He's off the bench and on the score sheet, and he scores his first ever European goal. Manchester United 1, Milan 0. And Ahmad with a goal to remember.
What a way to introduce yourself to Manchester United, Ahmad. What a brilliant, clever run he makes. We were talking about Greenwood not making them runs from out to in that first half. He just darts across, just perfect timing, darts inside Tomori and in behind. What a delightful pass from Fernandes, almost outside of the foot with a bit of backspin as well. But Ahmad does so well to judge the position that he's in, see the flight of the ball, know where the defender and the goalkeeper is, and just then cushion that header over the top of Donnarumma. Brilliant.
He's almost running back towards goal as he gets his head to it, and he just flicks it with the top of the back of his head over Donnarumma. It's an instinctive goal. It's a mark of such a clever player. He might still only be 18 years of age, but that's the first of his Manchester United career. It is going to be the first of many you would expect. 1-0, Manchester United lead Milan. 6 minutes into the second half here on TalkSport. And here's Nemanja Matic in possession, and his play forward towards Bruno Fernandes, and that you would think would settle Manchester United down. McTominay bringing it forward now. He's been fouled by Kessié. And another chance for United to get the bodies forward. This time they won't take it short and look for the early surprise ball over the top. This time they will load the penalty area. Maguire's making his way forward. Only Eric Bailly staying back here for Manchester United as they look to double their lead.
Just give everyone an injection of energy, doesn't it? That goal, great for all the players to see, such a young player. Come on and score. He's on the ball again.
Free kick works short to him. Back for Bruno Fernandes. Slow right-footed ball in towards Greenwood is cleared. Headed down then from the subsequent clearance to towards Ahmad, but he can't do anything with it and ends up giving the free kick away, fouling Kessie. So Manchester United leading Milan by a goal to nil. First half in which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men certainly gave a substandard performance, but you should have seen a beaming grin on the manager's face when Diallo scored the goal. Just applauding the invention. A man that knows just you need that predatory instinct, and will have scored so many goals in his career, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he never scored one like that.
No, I mean, it was great to see, like you said, that sort of carefree attitude in the way that he finished. He just saw the moment, quickly computed it in his brain, and then flicked the header over the top of the goalkeeper.
And now a defensive header that's not the best from Calabria, and James is in. The angle is tight. He can't beat Calabria. He's won a corner first of the second half, and Calabria's convinced it's come back off James. And I must admit, I was expecting a goal kick to be given, but it is a corner that has been awarded by the Slovenian referee. But that again was a moment of promise for Manchester United, being able to get a quick player isolated against the Milan defender.
Yeah, I think he was actually offside as well, Daniel James, but Calabria I think did really well. He just cut the angle off. He didn't go in too tight with James. He just cut the angle off towards goal and just about did enough. And you're right, probably should have been a goal kick.
In comes the corner from Teres. It's headed away by Leao towards Matic, just outside the penalty area. He's gone wide to his right-hand side for Bruno Fernandes. Wan-Bissaka back to Matic again. James making his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's played into Bruno Fernandes. And then James trying to get to the byline, right-footed ball, scooped inside the penalty area with a little chip. The Donnarumma's come out, and was he bundled over as he tried to throw it out? He was, and McTominay's going to get a yellow card for that.
Yeah, sneaky from McTominay. Knew that Donnarumma wanted to play quickly. Only time will tell whether that ends up being a clever yellow to take. If he was suddenly to get another, it wouldn't.
Only the second yellow card that McTominay has picked up all season. He has scored in each of his last 3 games here at Old Trafford, Scott McTominay, including in the big win against Southampton. And he's the first United player to have his name taken. Salamaca's also in the book.
The first time with the goal, it's the first time a Manchester United forward has shown real intent, real sharpness in that final third. It just shows, I mean, Dalot, comfortable first half for him, was getting forward plenty, no real threat from Greenwood on that side, and then suddenly he was found out. The quick thinking and sharpness of Ahmad was brilliant to see. But if anyone gets a chance to see the goal, the pass from Bruno Fernandes is absolutely insane. Honestly, the way he spots the run, the strike that he puts on it with a little bit of outside of the foot backspin on it just to get over Tomori was glorious. It's a forward's dream when you've made that run, and then obviously a lovely finish.
And Milan might feel, I don't want to tempt fate from a United perspective, that the best chance has gone. Brahim Diaz plays it inside the penalty area now, and Bailly knocks it away. I think they would have expected that it would be a much improved Manchester United performance in this second half, and that perhaps changes in personnel were inevitable. The one that was made at half-time has already had a major effect. There's been a clash between 2 players right in front of us. Salamakas is down holding the small of his back, and so too Alex Telles. It was a pretty hefty challenge between the pair of them. Now, Milan have only won one of the last 12 European knockout away games that they play. That was against Ludogorets. And they might feel that this is potentially going to be the same old story. Going to have to come from behind if they're going to win this one. But at the moment, it's a perfect night's work for Manchester United, who have their noses in front and haven't conceded an away goal. It's Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton with you at Old Trafford. Declan McCarthy, our in-stadium producer. United leading Milan by a goal to nil with 12 minutes played in the second half. Both of those injured players back on their feet, and Krunic will stand over this free kick, which he will swing towards the edge of the penalty area. United keeping a high line on the edge of the box. Krunic playing it in. It was knocked away by Bruno Fernandes. Back in from Calabria with a high ball over the top. And it would have gone through towards Henderson. It was headed away by Wan-Bissaka. Lack of communication between the pair of them. Picked up then by Brahim Diaz. Left-footed ball in, hits McTominay and goes behind for Milan's first corner of the night.
Yeah, like you said, just miscommunication. Either the goalkeeper wasn't forceful enough, Wan-Bissaka took no notice and headed it away anyway.
Krunic will go across to take the corner, with Manchester United leading 1-0. Ahmad's goal, 5 minutes into this second half, the difference between the two sides. Krunic stands motionless by the corner flag, now runs up, addresses the ball, fires it in, Maguire heads it away, right footed miss kick back in from Calabria, headed away by Greenwood, Salamakis turns it forward, chance for Kessié, Henderson does well, diving to his right hand side, smuggles it around the post for another corner.
Have to say that's absolutely awful defending, by the way. Kessié totally free, as that ball got played out and then recycled back in. No Manchester United player looking where the danger men are to pick up players as you run out. You can't just blindly run out of the box. Kessié didn't catch it properly, scuffed it into the floor, and Henderson parried. He probably could have gathered, but what a chance.
6-yard box, a real crowd scene. Kessié flicking on the Krunic corner. Kerr trying to make something happen. Nodded away by Wan-Bissaka. Appeals for a penalty as one of the Milan players ended up on the deck. Meite gets the ball out from between his feet. Manchester United with Greenwood might be able to bring it away on the counter, but Donnarumma's starting position sensational. It's 25 yards outside his penalty area, and he was able to sweep up and get it away and alleviate any threat on the counter attack. The Milan were convinced. They thought it was a good shout for a penalty there.
Well, Wan-Bissaka was just trying to climb over the top of Diaz to win the header, which he did. He did win the header. It's just a case of whether he leant on top of Diaz or pulled Diaz back. I just thought he was more aggressive and wanted to win the header. Diaz had no real interest, to be honest, in actually trying to win a header.
Diaz has it again now, and it's played out to the left flank as Raul Albiol scores a second goal for Villarreal away to Dinamo Kiev. Dinamo 0, Villarreal 2. It's still 1-1 in our game. There's live for you right now over on TalkSport 2 between Slavia and Rangers, and we've got Olympiacos against Arsenal to come with Matt Holland alongside Alex Crook. That kicks off at 8 o'clock over on TalkSport 2 tonight. And Arsenal hoping to make a better job of Olympiacos than they did 12 months ago. Here's James. Manchester United lead 1-0 with Amad Diallo on as a half-time substitute, scoring within 5 minutes. Maguire bringing it forward. Calabria has gone down and has been caught in the unmentionables and is wincing. The ball is with James. Wincing doesn't begin to describe it. He's writhing around in pain. The ball back from Tejas. Matic out towards the Manchester United right. Play forward towards Bruno Fernandes. Bye-bye. Amad Diallo with an opportunity to turn. Greenwood back out to the right, clipped in by Wan-Bissaka over the heads of the United players, and Simon Kerr gets it away. Milan temporarily down to 10 men whilst Calabria is being attended to. But they're in possession with Brahim Diaz, and Diaz just chips it back towards Salamakis. It ran past him. Salamakis, having fielded it, eventually got it away from Greenwood. Turned, looked at Brahim Diaz and gave him a right mouthful. Play goes on, and Calabria, whilst still looking as though he's got tears in his eyes, is back on his feet and able to take part again. Here's Kerr, long diagonal ball from the centre half. And Krunic making a run. He's just trying to get a flick to flick it off to Leao, but it wasn't forthcoming. And United will bring it out from the back. 16 gone in the second period. Manchester United leading AC Milan by a goal to nil. I'd
have to say, too often AC Milan have just been able to get their heads up and just play a ball over the top or the ball into Diaz too easily. Far too easy for Milan. They've been very good on the break. They just need a little bit more quality.
And they're trying to provide it now with a good sliding challenge denied. It was Eric Bailly, thwarted the run of Kessié, who got Leao square to his right-hand side in space inside the penalty area, but Bailly did really well. Davy Klaassen has given Ajax the lead at home to Young Boys in Amsterdam. Tomori backpedaling, forces Mason Greenwood back. Greenwood finding McTominay. Scott McTominay into the feet of Bruno Fernandes, and now Matic will bring it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Salamakis stopped him playing the pass that he wanted to, so he goes back instead for Maguire. Tears now to James. James with his shirt outside of his shorts, pulled forward to Matic, and then Salamakis does well, sticks a foot in. James tries to go shoulder to shoulder with the much taller Meite and can't beat him. And now Kessié, who has been excellent, just controls the ball at the heart of the midfield for Milan and will try and get them going again. You're listening to Manchester United against AC Milan in the Europa League. It's live on TalkSport with Music Magpie, the smart way to buy great value, certified refurbished phones and tech. 1-0 United lead, as they have done for the last 12-13 minutes or so. Kessié had a goal disallowed in the first half for a handball. Towards the edge of the area for Krunic, who fires it over the bar. He's claiming it took a deflection from Wan-Bissaka on the way, but the referee was well placed to see that it didn't, and it's a goal kick, which will be taken by Dean Henderson. Manchester United, a goal to the good.
Again, not good enough. One long ball over the top for Leao, just to run in behind, that started that attack. And then again, ball just into between midfield and defence for Krunic to turn and get that shot away high and wide. They've been poor in midfield, Manchester United, I have to say. McTominay and Matic have been outplayed by Milan's midfield.
Here is McTominay in possession. Played out to Amad Diallo. Hasn't really seen too much of the ball since he scored the goal. If that's his only contribution of the night, it will be a very memorable evening for him. It's first in Manchester United colours. Meite to Calabria. Decent ball in from here, and a flying header goes over the bar. Well, again, Manchester United caught square at the back. Beautiful shape on the cross that came in, and he was attacked with a flying header at the far post. But Krunic not able to keep it down, and he just cleared the bar, and only just cleared the bar. Great ball from Calabria, and another warning shot across the bows for Manchester United.
Well, he can't do much more, can he? I mean, the delivery was wonderful as Kessié wins it in midfield.
And will drive forward again inside the penalty area. Pulls it back for Salamaca's shot, and he just didn't get hold of it. And Henderson dives to his left and makes a grateful save.
Brilliant again from Kessié, just to rob Wan-Bissaka of the ball. Just delayed too long for that chance then for Salamaca's. But I have to say, that cross from Calabria, absolutely brilliant, into a great area just for someone to go and attack. Krunic gets inside Wan-Bissaka, who was asleep, to be honest. He wasn't seeing the danger, he wasn't covering across early enough. Got in front of the fullback. I have to say, it's a poor header. You know, when the cross is there to be launched at, which he was, it wasn't over the top of his head, he wasn't having to stretch. Got good purchase on his jump, just completely got his angles wrong and put it over the top. In that position, you've got to head it down. Got to head that down. Gives you a great opportunity for it to skid off the surface and past the goalkeeper. You don't have to be trying to put it in the top corner.
Well, just a moment in front of us, Bruno Fernandes and Stefano Pioli, the Milan coach. The ball was chipped out of play by a United player. Pioli caught it on the edge of this technical area, and Bruno Fernandes very quickly grabbed him to stop Pioli throwing the ball to a teammate for a Milan quick throw. And then he just walked away, big beaming smile on his face, Bruno Fernandes, as if to say, oh, just kind of thing we do, you know, sorry about that. But he'd done his job by then. Pioli, the master of the old tricks himself in his playing days. He played with the likes of Rossi and Platini and Boniek at Juventus. He saw it for what it was, but there was a gracious smile back. Donnarumma has it. Laid out from the back to find Kessié. The Italian's going to make a change in a moment. It's the Italian international central midfielder, Sandro Tonali, who's going to be coming on, the former Brescia player. Tonali will be on in a moment. I wonder, it might be Meite who will make way, potentially Diaz, with Kessié moving into a slightly more advanced position. We'll find out very shortly. But Manchester United lead Milan by a goal to nil. And Kerr's got it. Long ball forward towards Krunic wasn't forthcoming.
Well, I mean, they've completely dominated since the goal, Milan, and Manchester United have sat deep, but without any real threat on the counter-attack. I think if you're going to sit this deep and defend, that's fine with the lead that you've got, but still, when you do get the ball, can you make that count? Can you go and get that second goal on the break?
Calabria, back for Leao. Leao to his left for Brahim Diaz. And then a good run down the left-hand side of the area from Dalot. Dalot checking, getting it back onto his right foot, chipping it in, but headed away by James, and then further clear by Bruno Fernandes. Milan bring it forward again for Kaya Tomori. Tomori's making his 9th appearance of this loan spell from Chelsea. De Kessier. And to the left for Dalot. Dalot into the feet of Krunic. Back for Dalot again. Dalot cleverly finding Brahim Diaz towards the edge of the area. It's well blocked by Matic, who threw himself into the line of fire and managed to affect the block almost at the point of contact of the shot. In fact, Milan are going to make a double change, and it's that Castillejo is going to be coming on as well, I think, down away to our left-hand side. He's a winger, so I just wonder whether it might be Salamakis who will make way. The ball sails over his head, and we will now find out. So Tonali is going to be coming on, and Castillejo will be brought on as well. And who are the players coming off? First is Diaz. So Brahim Diaz, the former Manchester City man, makes way, and it is Salamakis who also will be taken off. So Tonali coming on into the midfield, and Castillejo coming on to replace Salamakis on the wing. Double change made by Milan, who don't have an awful lot of ammunition to work with. They've only got one striker on the bench, and that's the 20-year-old from the Primavera team, Riccardo Tonin, who hasn't made his first team debut as yet. And he's the only real, genuine attacking option that they can call upon.
Well, I mean, they couldn't fill the bench, could they? AC Milan. Not enough players, like you said. They have been digging into their reserves and youth players, and a couple of goalkeepers on the bench just to...
Yeah, they could only bring 19 to England. They lost Romagnoli then to an injury, with a bruised thigh picked up in training. So they've got 7 on the bench. 2 of them are keepers. Ball, as the wind and rain really picks up again, is worked out to the Milanese left-hand side. Just over 20 minutes to go. Manchester United leading after that goal from Ahmad, which makes him the youngest ever non-British player to score a major European competition for Manchester United at 18 years and 8 months. Ball's out for a throw that will be taken by Alex Telles on the Manchester United left. It's still 1-1 between Slavia Prague and Rangers. Live for you right now over on TalkSport 2 with Olympiacos against Arsenal to come. And from 4 a.m. every weekday morning you can download the TalkSport Daily Podcast, which will include some of the best bits of TalkSport and TalkSport 2. If you miss any reaction from tonight's matches, it'll be ready for you tomorrow morning up to the TalkSport Daily, which you can listen to on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or Acast. The other scores are Ajax 1, Young Boys 0 and Dinamo Kiev 0, Villarreal 2. And having been dry for about half an hour, we're now having half an hour's with the rain coming down in the space of about 30 seconds. It is bucketing it down. United are going to make changes as well, with Fred and Brandon Williams being ready. United have it with James on the Manchester United left. And back he goes for Harry Maguire. Maguire inside the centre circle plays it forward for Scott McTominay. We're in the final 20. Ball goes out towards Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka into the feet of Greenwood towards the edge of the penalty area. Greenwood trying to find a way through. Little cushion ball in, and it's played in for James, who on the slide knocks it wide. And it was a glorious chance to make it 2.
Lovely little bit of interplay between Greenwood and Amad Diallo, and then Greenwood just brilliantly just feeds it across the 6-yard line, and really it catches James by surprise. It shouldn't, because he should anticipate that this is coming across, and he doesn't get his feet sorted out. He isn't nicely balanced, nicely poised at the back post. Yes, it's his weaker left foot, but it's a simple side foot finish that should have been for Daniel James, and he made a real mess of it.
He scored in 3 successive games recently, but he and Maguire have both missed glorious chances for Manchester United tonight.
I mean, they need to be better in possession, Manchester United. It's no good just sitting back and soaking up pressure and then just trying to whack the ball forwards. I mean, out of the front 4, Fernandes, Ahmad, James and Greenwood, I mean, there's barely a muscle between them, you know, so they're just going to be and they're just not going to have the strength to hold that ball up from the Milan defence, which maybe is why these changes are being made. And I just wonder whether there might be a little switch around.
Well, it's going to be a triple change for Manchester United, because Luke Shaw's coming on as well, and Calabria is not going to be able to labour on through the pain barrier anymore by the look of it, and he's going to be replaced by the French right back Pierre Kalulu. So United will bring on Fred and Williams and Shaw, and Bruno Fernandes is the first player that makes way, and that might well be with the match at home to West Ham United this Sunday in mind, I beg your pardon. So he comes off, Fred on to replace him, Williams for Wan-Bissaka, and Shaw, I'm sure, for Tellez, but we'll find out in a moment. Or is it going to be James that's coming off? Yes, it is, Dan James. So United will play with Shaw and Tellez on the left-hand side now for the time that remains. Milan will make their change as well. And Calabria just grateful to be able to get off the pitch, I think. And he's replaced by Kalulu. So the third Milan change, and United changes 2, 3 and 4. Free kick to restart play for Milan right in front of us. 15 yards into the Manchester United half. Yard in from the right-hand touchline. In driving rain and swirling wind, which meant it was difficult for Krunic to judge the curl on the ball as he sent it in, and the wind caught it and took it away from the Manchester United penalty area. The elements acting as another defender for United there. And it's the first touch for Shaw, who's playing with Tellez ahead of him on the left-hand touchline. And back it comes from Tellez to Shaw again, to Maguire, into the feet of Matic, and back once more for Luke Shaw. Manchester United leading Milan by a goal to nil after Ahmad's spectacular header 5 minutes into the second half.
Well, I think it's meant that they can maybe just slightly tweak the system, Manchester United. More of maybe a back three with Shaw as the left-hand side centre-back. Williams can go and play as a right wing-back, and Tellez as a left wing-back, possibly out of possession. And then Amad Diallo playing closer to Greenwood at the top end of the pitch, and give them that extra man in midfield to make sure they're not outnumbered, with Kessié being given a little bit more licence to get forward.
Shaw with the throw, and Diallo trying to flick it on with his head. Quite such a good touch as the one that brought the goal 20 minutes ago. Milan will bring it forward again. So United playing, as Dean says, with a back three now, although Shaw will drift into a wide position from the left of the three centre halves, and will follow Castillejo. Back it comes for Tomori, and Tomori goes out to the Milan left once more. 1-0 Manchester United leading here on TalkSport. Darren Lewis and Gabby Agbonlahor, Hugh Woozencroft's guests, as they react to this performance following the end of the game from 8 o'clock.
It reminds me a little bit of the weekend when Manchester City then had lots of possession in that second half. Manchester United were comfortable in just sitting back and getting numbers in a good shape, as they're doing in this half now after the goal. And Milan actually looked better when they were able to counter Manchester United rather than looking to play in between the gaps.
And the weather reminds you of Noah turning up in his ark. A high ball play forward by Kerr, the offside flag up over on the far touchline against Dallo, and it's a free kick which will be taken by United on the edge of their box. 13 to go. Manchester United leading Milan by a goal to nil here on TalkSport. And TalkSport 2 is bringing you live and exclusive ball-by-ball commentary of England's cricket tour of India. And the easiest way to listen to that is by downloading the free TalkSport app, swiping left, so you don't miss a delivery of our award-winning coverage. And attention turns to the T20s and the ODIs against India, which begin tomorrow with every ball live and exclusive on TalkSport 2. Kalulu making his way forward into the penalty area. The substitute can't find a way through. Shaw's done well, gets the better of Castillejo, and then Tellez back defending as well, finds Maguire. Maguire hoping to find touch and get it out of harm's way, has been able to do exactly that. Out of play for a throw, which Tomori takes quickly. Tomori for Meite. Back from Tomori again. Remember, the second leg of this game kicks off at 8 o'clock next Thursday, and we've got that one for you. on the Talk Sport network as well. Kalulu, back for Kjaer. Simon Kjaer with a lovely crossfield ball out to Dalot on the left. And the rain stops as quickly as it started. Meite bringing it forward again. Meite into the fit of Kessier on the edge of the penalty area, trying to set up Leao. Fred's going to be able to bring that one away, and Fred will take it on, but Krunic is quickly back between him and the ball, and setting up Tonali. Tonali, who's won a handful of caps for the Azzurri. Down for Kalulu. Now Castillejo, faced up by Shaw, just knocks it away. Toe pokes it out for a throw, which will be taken on the Milan right, and Manchester United, they've got 12 minutes to hold on for a first leg advantage.
I mean, if we're judging the performance, it's still been pretty average, hasn't it, Jim, in this second half? Yes, they got the goal, but since then, barely touched the ball, struggling to get out. No real threat on the counter-attack, although Matic is taking up upon himself to drive.
And he's gone some 20-30 yards upfield, and he finds young Williams on the right-hand side. Crossfield ball from him. That's a really nice pass, brought down by Shaw. Shaw, who's had so many chances created for his teammates over the course of this season. Number one in that regard for fullbacks in the Premier League. Back for Maguire. Maguire working back through the centre circle for Eric Bailly. Bailly to Williams. Williams, lifelong Manchester United fan as a boy. He will be delighted to be playing back in European competition for them, but that ball forward was miscontrolled by his teammates and goes out of play for a throw. It'll be taken over on the left-hand side. Just over 10 minutes to go. Manchester United leading by a goal to nil. Probably a 5 out of 10 in the first half of Manchester United, maybe 6.5 in this second period, but still some way short of the heights that they would set themselves. But if you can win when you're only playing 6 out of 10, that's not a bad habit to have.
I think you're being kind. 6.5 out of 10, maybe 5.5 just in the second half, 0.5 being the goal. Everything else has been pretty slow still, not really much of a threat, but you'd have to say defensive shape in the second half has been much better. The only real threat has been that ball over the top, but since making the changes, and they've sat a lot deeper actually, Manchester United, and just denied Milan any space. They're just looking to see the game out really, Manchester United.
No, I think that they will back themselves to be able to score at the San Siro.
Yeah.
You look at Milan's away record, 11-1-1 in Serie A. At home, they're 6-4-3. So, from that point of view, like Manchester United themselves, a side probably more equipped to do well in an away leg. So, a clean sheet, absolutely crucial for Manchester United. They'll be very warm favourites to progress if it stays this way. Kjaer plays it forward. Kessier able to turn. He has taken up a slightly more advanced role in the midfield now that Tonali's come on. Shaw to Matic, play forward by Matic. Fred tries to chest it down and bring it under control, but can't do so. Ahmad still buzzes about, but Milan can bring it forward easily from the back, and it remains 1-0. Back he goes for Tomori. Tomori playing it forward over the halfway line and getting an immediate return ball. Now Simon Kjaer. Castillejo made an early run, and then Leao made a slightly later run, but too early. Kjaer couldn't play him in because he would have been offside. Comes down instead for Kalulu. Barrel-chested right back into Kessier, and now back down for Kalulu again. Right-footed ball in from him, and a little flick header from Kessier. Very difficult to be able to improvise at that kind of angle. And he goes out of play for a goal kick. You're listening to Manchester United 1, Milan 0 in the Europa League. It's live on Talk Sport with McDonald's McDelivery. Order McDelivery now on the Uber Eats or Just Eat apps. We deliver. 9 to go, Dean.
Kessier, I have to say, been the standout performer in this game. Yes, that was a poor header from the near post cross, but I've been so impressed with his vision, awareness, his body positioning when he receives the pass, strength on the ball, his quality. He's been the one real threat, to be honest, to Manchester United, who have just got a really good shape now with that extra player at the back and extra player in midfield. Yes, they're offering nothing going forward, but they look so solid. They don't really look like Milan are going to carve them open anyway.
Ajax leading Young Boys by 2-0 now. Castillejo playing it forward, and Scott McTominay's able to knock it away. Meite has won it back, and then McTominay coming back makes the challenge. He's already been booked, and the point is being made to the referee that he's made a cynical challenge there in an area that is a good one for a Milan free kick. And is it worthy of a second yellow card? I think the Milanese certainly feel as though it is. McTominay is protesting his innocence, and he's going to get away with it, but it will be a free kick, which does represent a really good opportunity here for Milan to find an equaliser.
Yeah, just thought he could power past Meite, McTominay, and he couldn't. He was read by Krunic. By Krunic, you're right, yeah, and then he just Krunic, as soon as McTominay even put his arm up, Krunic just dived to the floor. And maybe a little bit lucky, McTominay, not to get a second yellow card, because you're right, it was cynical, and it was going to be struck by Krunic.
Well, Rade Krunic stands over this free kick, and Castillejo is there as well. Will it be a left-footed effort from him or a right-footed effort from the Bosnian? Manchester United got everybody back inside the penalty area. The ball has been spotted down marginally left of centre, about 2.5 yards shy of the edge of the D. Who's it going to be? Castillejo or Krunic? It's Krunic. He drives it into the quintet of red shirts in that Manchester United wall. And United survive for now, and then Tonali loses possession, and an opportunity for Greenwood to bring it away. Kalulu had a little grab at him, but couldn't make contact to stop the counter-attack. It was a shame that he didn't, because United very quickly lost possession. 6 to go. United still leading Milan by 1-0, and grateful that it was such a poor set piece.
It was, yeah, he couldn't get it up and down quick enough, and the wall all jumped in unison and blocked the ball well, and then Greenwood just maybe a little bit of inexperience. I thought he could have possibly won a free kick on this near touchline, the dugout side. Probably could have, just as he just nicked the ball away the first time, a bit like Krunic did for the free kick there. Just cut yourself across a defender and win that free kick and relieve the pressure.
Well, Manchester United won this competition in 2017, which had a major impact in their excellent run in the competition. They've only lost 2 of the last 25 Europa League ties, a record which you would imagine is going to be extended. Unbeaten at home in 16, providing they don't implode here. That's 16 in this competition, clearly. Fred bringing it forward. Tejes just offering the width on the left-hand side. Back it comes for Luke Shaw. Shaw into the feet of Ahmad. Bypasses Fred with the ball out towards the left-hand touchline, and then Fred coming back has caught his man, and Castillejo is fouled, and the Spaniard wins a free kick that will be taken by the big Danish centre-half Kjær. Works it back inside his own penalty area very quickly for Gigio Donnarumma, who's never reached a European quarter-final in his time with Milan. They've had a poor run in Europe in the recent past. It's only their second European campaign in the last 7 years. And they're certainly not going to be needing snookers after tonight, but they might feel as though there is a bit of work to do if they don't get the away goal. 1-0 they trail to Manchester United with 4 minutes of normal time remaining here on TalkSport.
I think they'll be desperate, won't they, for the possibility of one of the forward players being fit. Zlatan, can he get himself fit for the second leg? Because they've just lacked that bit of quality.
Greenwood's done well, gets to the byline, cuts inside the penalty area, but a very well-timed challenge stopped him. And Tomori and Meite between them can get it away. Tomori shows a little bit too much of that to Fred, and then just was able to adjust his feet on the edge of the penalty area to get it clear. Now Kessié will try and drive forward. Castillejo getting the better of Alex Tejes at the second attempt. A little ball outside him for Kessié. Down towards Kalulu. Kalulu corner of the penalty area. First time ball swept in. It was neither one thing nor the other. He had Leao making ground towards the far post. He was too far ahead of him, and not enough whip to get it to curve inside the top left-hand corner. And he goes innocuously out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Dean Henderson. By the time he's taken it, there'll only be about 2.5 minutes to go.
There was definitely one thing that he did, which was an absolutely awful cross. Chance to just flash that across low in behind the two centre-backs. No care taken. Pioli, the manager, scuffs the astroturfed technical area in disgust at the cross.
Yeah, he'll be a frustrated man tonight because in many departments they have been superior, and they haven't got a scoreline to show for it. Donnarumma coming outside his penalty area again to sweep up as a loose ball evaded the last line of defence, and Ahmad chased after it, but Donnarumma was there early. It goes out of play for a throw that Kalulu would take, but just being asked to retreat. It's only the 13th appearance of his career tonight. The young French right back who signed from Lyon, but he didn't actually play for Lyon. Milan with a long ball over the top. Maguire patrolling the situation, blocking the run from Kessié, and it goes through for Henderson. And there are 88 gone, with Manchester United leading courtesy of that goal from Ahmad on 50 minutes. More live football coming up for you over the course of the weekend from the Premier League. Saturday, Leeds, Chelsea, Everton, Burnley and Fulham, Manchester City. Kicking off at 12:30, 5:30 and 8 o'clock respectively, and all exclusive to national radio on Talk Sport. Castillejo tries to work it forward. Matic gets in the way and blocks it. Comes though for Dalot. Left-footed ball clipped in by Dalot, and missed the first Manchester United player. Matic waved a foot that it couldn't get anything on it. Kessié trying to clip it forward. Leao, right-footed volley, completely missed his kick to such an extent that he can chase after it and keep it in. And it just ended up being a pass to himself. Back for Kalulu again. He works it back through the midfield for Tomori. And Fikayo Tomori, the Canadian-born England international, just works it into space on the right. Kalulu just abdicating responsibility. Meite taking it on. Kerr, left-footed ball clipped over the top. Out comes Henderson. Had to judge that his momentum didn't carry him outside the penalty area, and then did well to stand his ground, knowing he was going to get caught by Krunic, who, in all fairness, did his best in chasing the ball not to make contact, and then let over Henderson to make sure that he was okay. A collision between the pair of them and a foul, but not a lot that Krunic could do to stop that. He only had eyes for the ball, and the collision then became inevitable. But good goalkeeping from Henderson, and we'll find out in a moment from the fourth official how many extra seconds are going to be out, how many extra minutes are going to be added on, and that's all that will separate Manchester United from a first leg advantage and a fifth home win in 6 matches in their history against Milan here at Old Trafford. Now Shaw has fouled Tonali and led over him to help him up, and Tonali reacted very angrily and politely refused, without the offer for help. 3 minutes to be added on.
I mean, just going back to that volleyed opportunity for Leao, Kessié, I mean, just how cool was he? Just rolled his foot over the top of the ball, then scooped it over the top of the Manchester United fullback for Leao to size it up and then completely miss it.
Kerr looking long again. Maguire backpedaling, brings it down well. Kalulu takes it on, and then Maguire steps up from the defensive line and can find Fred. Second goal for United would be absolutely priceless. That's a handball from Tomori. The referee says no, because it flicked off his right foot into his hand. There was no intent, and play is allowed to continue. Meite able to play the ball out to the Milanese left. It's a nice turn out there from Leao. Leao will try to drive inside the penalty area. It hits Williams and goes out for a corner.
He's had a great attitude, Leao. Like you said, maybe not confident in front of goal, but he's worked tirelessly, made a nuisance of himself, did so there as well. Lovely bit of footwork into the box. Knew that Manchester United couldn't commit a foul. Gets his team a corner.
And plenty of white shirts forward. 7 to attack this corner. Whoa, Henderson couldn't get a hand to it before it was too late. And Milan have the away goal in stoppage time. Manchester United 1, Milan 1. Simon Kerr up from the back, powering a header in. Henderson diving backwards, got his hand to it, but could only divert it into the roof of the net. And that completely changes the complexion of the tie. An away goal right at the death. It's 1-1 ahead of the return leg.
Well, if you switch off at this level, you will be punished. They weren't set. They took the corner really quickly. Manchester United weren't ready, weren't set. Kerr just simply pulls off one of the defenders. I think it's Matic. He just gets away from I'm sorry, Dean Henderson, that is right at you. Yes, there's power on the header because he just guides it towards goal, but it's right above you, and his hand wasn't strong enough to power it away. He pats it into the roof of the net, and how vital could that goal be?
His first in Milan colours in nearly 50 games for the club, and Henderson will be so frustrated because he got his hand to it. That was the hard bit, and then didn't get a strong enough palm to help it over the bar.
Wasn't ready, wasn't set for that set play. They took it nice and quick, AC Milan, and he was in the centre of the goal. He wasn't set, and then when it came over the top of his head, just didn't have the strength in the hand to palm it over the top.
Now Harry Maguire gets it away, the last touch of the night, in which Manchester United looked as though they were going to have a first leg lead despite an inferior performance. Milan will feel that they've been the better side, and they will also feel that the equalising goal was thoroughly justified. Simon Kjær with it right at the death, and it's a huge frustration for Manchester United, who've taken the lead with an Ahmad header, his first Manchester United goal just 5 minutes after coming off the bench. But a header at the other end, probably the most significant moment of the night, the away goal for Milan ahead of next week's second leg. Manchester United 1, Milan 1.